What up, everybody? Welcome to the Bourbon, Buzzed, and Ballin podcast. We are your hosts, Kolby and Dut, and we thank you for joining us. Follow, like, and share us on all our socials. And we got a good show tonight. We got to get into some stuff.
There's a lot of stuff to talk about. You know, it seems like this time of year, there's not as much stuff to talk about, but with March Madness and spring training about to end, the World Baseball Classic. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about. So let's not waste any time. Let's just dive right in there and start with our opening toast.
Let's do it. You or me?
I'll start.
All right.
Of course, like I said, it's March Madness, and this has been a hell of a tournament so far.
It has been.
I'm sure we'll talk more about it when we get deeper into the show. But as far as the toast, I spent my younger years in Jersey. So I got to give a shout out to those New Jersey Cinderellas that are showing out right now. Uh-oh, we got your Princeton t-shirt on.
Princeton.
So, yeah.
Princeton.
I'll start with FDU, Fairleigh Dickinson University, which is in Madison, New Jersey. They knocked off a number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Only the second number 16 seed to take out a number 1.
Right.
And they knocked out Purdue. Unfortunately, the magic ran out after that one game. They lost to FAU. I think it was only like an 8-point game.
I think it's something like that, 8 or 7. Something.
And of course, at the end of that game, FAU. So they go into no foul mode. FDU does, and the player for Florida Atlantic, he decides he's going to try a 360 dunk at the buzzer, and the whole place started booing him, and he's been catching hell on social media. I mean, you just don't do that. The other team called off the dogs. Right. You don't try to.
That's an unwritten rule. For sure.
Yeah. So, but anyway, FDU. Congratulations on being only the second number 16 seed to knock off a number 1. That's a hell of an accomplishment, and I mean, they were, so undersized also. And then Princeton, of course, knocked off a number 15 seed. Princeton is number 15 seed. And they knocked off a number 2 in Arizona.
Yeah, that was a big. That was well, I guess both of them are huge upsets for sure. But that Purdue exit didn't seem quite as shocking as the Arizona exit.
Well, the only reason it was so shocking to me was just because of Edey.
Yeah, and he didn't even look human next to those guys.
Yeah, it looked like Moonraker in the James Bond movies.
Jaws.
Yeah.
It really did look. It looked really weird seeing him at the foul line next to those guys.
Like Lurch and Cousin It
was night and day. But Princeton, man, Princeton's upset of Arizona. Arizona was. God, it was a bracket killer for a lot because Arizona was picked to go deep.
Yeah,
I don't even want to talk brackets.
That's why I didn't fill one out. Hell, I might be doing good if I'd filled one out this year. As many upsets as there have been.
Well, this year I made the statement prior to handing my brackets in that this is the year I'm not picking any upsets because I just felt like the top seeds were strong enough to advance and move on. And it's been an upset special in the tournament.
Well, of the in the Sweet 16, so if you're going to assume that your 1 through 4 seeds in each region make it into your Sweet 16, 7 of those are already gone.
Yeah.
So almost half of what should have been the Sweet 16 is already eliminated. Like I said, Princeton knocked off number 2 Arizona. Number 7, Missouri, and now they got another tough one coming up. Number 6, Creighton,
right?
Who's playing some good ball, and
which we're interested in that game because that's who we play if we advance.
If we can knock off San Diego State, which that's going to be a tough game. Man. San Diego State's got a great defense.
We'll talk about that when we get into college basketball.
So I'm a little disappointed that Rutgers isn't in here anywhere, but. But congratulations to Princeton and to Fairleigh Dickinson.
The biggest school of all of New Jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
The
state school.
The state school, that's right.
And what else was I going to mention? Oh, yeah, so last year there was a 15 seed that made it into the Sweet 16. It was St. Peter's.
St. Pete's, yeah.
So, Princeton kept that tradition going with 15.
I had that little old sister following them. I haven't followed up to see how she's doing. I mean, they made such a big deal about her coming to all the games.
Right.
But yeah, that's what's great about March Madness, and that's what's great about the tournament setup.
Yeah,
and that's what's going to be great about college football going to a tournament. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's made for a very entertaining tournament.
It has.
You can flip, to all the different games. They're on 4 different channels and flip from one to another as one's fixing to end, and if it's a close one. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's definitely been fun for most of the dudes, and it's probably added to a lot of fights at home for some marriages. Some people don't have to worry about that.
Yep.
I got a good basketball lady. Anyway,
All
I'm gonna toast Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Punched our ticket to the championship game.
What time's the Mexico-Japan game?
It's I think 7. I think it's now.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I meant to check before we went on air, but I didn't because I knew they played the winner of that game for the championship.
Yep, that's tonight. And so, they drubbed, man. We beat the brakes off of Cuba, 14-2. Adam Wainwright pitched his way out of a jam in the first inning.
I can't believe that man's still pitching.
I know. He's got to be pushing 40, isn't he?
Oh, I think he's over 40.
Well, he pitched a good one.
He might not be over 40, but you're right. He's right there at it.
I mean, he loaded up the bases in the first, gave up a run, walked in a run, but battled his way and got out of it and pitched good. The rest, I think he pitched 5 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he did great. Trey Turner, of course, Mookie Betts. So
yeah, Trout's been doing real good. The only negative thing is the injuries.
Right.
There's been 2 pretty serious ones with Diaz tearing his patellar tendon. He had surgery on that, and he might have to miss the whole season this year.
Yeah, that's gonna maybe put some conversation into
you're
who's gonna be playing going forward.
Because the stars are in this thing.
Oh yeah,
It's not like the Pro Bowl for the NFL where everybody opts out of it. I mean, this is people taking it serious. Jose Altuve, he's gonna have to have surgery on his thumb where he got hit by a pitch, and then Arenado, he got hit by a pitch, but his X-rays were negative. And who was the other? Oh, Yoan Moncada. He collided trying to catch a Schwarber fly ball, and he collided with his outfielder and bruised some ribs. So really, the serious one was the Edwin Diaz. So,
yeah, that was a big blow to the Mets for sure.
Yeah, all-star closer. So hopefully he doesn't set him back too bad. But
that's why I got my USA
so you got
shirt on.
Okay, I see. You got Team USA on the top and Princeton underneath.
Princeton on the bottom. They're my.
And then of course repping the podcast on your head.
Princeton's my wannabe Ivy League school.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Princeton a few times. To the campus to visit. And, just fell in love with that place immediately. So I've always followed.
Yeah.
Princeton
athletics. Yeah, they're doing their thing. I don't know if they can do it again and get by Creighton, but
Creighton's pretty stout.
Yeah,
Creighton's pretty stout.
Creighton always shows up at tournament time.
Yeah, they can shoot, man. They got some.
Because I think
eyes out.
I want to say they put San Diego State out last year, and they put us out like in 2012 or 2014, I think it was. So both of us, whoever wins our game, is wanting a little revenge on Creighton. So,
little old Blue Jays.
Yep. So a little side note there. All right, well, let's raise our glasses and let's toast those Jersey Cinderella teams, Princeton and FDU, and of course Team USA.
Team USA.
Good luck in the WBC.
Yep.
Cheers.
Win that thing. It's a loaded tournament, man.
It is. I mean, I think it's been 6 years since they played that tournament.
Has it?
Yeah.
I didn't research all that history.
And I don't know that. I don't think the U.S. did that good in it the last time.
No, I don't think we did. I mean, I think that's what's been interesting to see them fight their way back in. They lost one early, and it looked like they were going to maybe not be that strong in the tournament because Japan hasn't lost.
Right.
Mexico and the U.S. had the same record. They've only lost one game, but it'd be interesting.
Well, I would ask you what you're sipping on tonight, but I know we both decided to go with an aged old fashioned. At the end of the show, when we make our way over to the bar, we're going to do a blind taste test of the Southern Star Paragon series that we've rated each one of them the last 3 weeks.
Right.
So this week we decided we're going to shuffle up the glasses a little bit.
Yeah.
Do a little blind taste test.
Put our our education to the test. We've been at this bourbon deal for a while
now,
and been studying and going to different distilleries. So now it's time to put up or shut
That's
up.
right.
Can we identify?
That's right. So
I'm a little nervous.
I poured yours and mixed up the order a little bit, and then you mixed up my order, so we don't know which glass holds which one, and we'll
So
we'll see what we
went with old fashions tonight to try to
not kill our taste buds.
keep our taste buds calm. So when we get to because they're pretty similar.
Yeah, because actually, I poured my cask strength, and mine's only 110 proof, whereas yours was 113.
Oh,
so it's going to pull it a little bit even closer. So they're all about 9 or 10,
That's right.
or 8 or 9
proof
difference.
Alcohol. Yeah.
So tonight it's like a 92, 100, and it's actually I'd say 110, but it was really like a 109. 109.9.
Yeah, because
there
was a huge difference in my cask strength.
Yeah, you got one of the strongest ones.
Yeah, how about that?
So it'll be interesting to see what we come up with over there. So, all right, well, let's move on from the toast to the scumbags.
To the scumbag.
And you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first on this one. I'm gonna nominate Blanco Brown, and for those of you that don't know Blanco Brown, because I'm one of them until this little episode, I knew him but didn't know him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A country rapper.
Yeah, I remember what was it? Get up, the Get Up song. Anyway, Blanco Brown was the national anthem singer at the Atlanta Motor Speedway this past weekend.
The NASCAR event.
Yeah, the NASCAR race, and he butchered the anthem, man. But, he was killing it. You should really go to YouTube and watch it because...
So this wasn't like a Roseanne Barr type of just butchering it from start to finish.
No, he didn't. Yeah, certainly didn't do that.
Or Carl Lewis.
Yeah, oh gosh. Yeah, but Carl Lewis was trying.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr was
she was making a
spitting
mockery.
on the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, Blanco Brown was killing it until the final verse, and then he either goes for this serious Mariah Carey note that nobody but Mariah Carey can hit.
Yeah.
Or B, he was trying to make some subtle political statement.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going with because it kind of looked that way. I mean,
it'll probably come out if he was at this point.
No, I can't stand for somebody to butcher our America's song. It's, to me, it's...
Well, and you got, I don't know how many people go to the NASCAR races nowadays, but probably 100,000 people, and then you got all the TV watching, and it's special to them. It's special to the drivers. I mean, that's that a lot of the athletes, it motivates them. It's their pregame ritual.
Sure.
So they don't want to be distracted by somebody making a mockery of it, if that's what he was doing.
Yeah, I don't want to jump to conclusions, and certainly don't want to get on my political soapbox on the national anthem, but it's not a song to me that's up for interpretation.
Right.
I think it should be sang pretty standard, but at any rate.
Yeah, and maybe that, because a lot of the artists, they try to put their own little flair to it. Maybe he was trying to put his flair and it just didn't work.
It definitely didn't work.
So
it was hard to listen to at the end. In fact, it was funny watching some of the reactions as he hit that or missed that note considerably. But anyway, he's He's my scumbag.
He's your scumbag.
Man. Yeah.
Well, you know me. If Alabama does something good, I like to praise them for it. If Alabama does something bad, I got to call them out and put them in their place. And we had another young man making poor life decisions. So Tony Mitchell, he was an early enrollee freshman, just been on campus since January. He was the number 15 recruit DB coming into this year. Alabama lost 3 safeties, so there's some jobs for the taking out there.
Got some holes in the back end.
And so he was one that they were looking on to maybe, step in and start as a freshman. Well, he was on spring break. The school's out right now for spring break. And he was on spring break with a buddy of his. They were down in Florida and got pulled over. Cop smells some marijuana in the car. They obviously had just fired up, just blazed up. And so, of course, that gives the cop probable cause to do a search. So when they do the search, they find a big bag of marijuana, a bunch of wads of cash, like rubber banded up, a set of scales, and a gun. And so, he got charged with intent to sell or deliver. The passenger, because the gun was in between the passenger seat and the center console, the passenger got charged with possession, intent to sell or deliver, and a concealed gun without a permit charge. So, this one, I defended, rightfully so. I defended Brandon Miller because evidence showed he didn't do anything wrong. Tony Mitchell, on the other hand, all the evidence shows that he definitely screwed himself up right here.
Yeah, I think given the circumstance, I think he's suspended right now for sure, but he hasn't, pending further investigation.
Yeah, I looked to see if, because today was the first day of spring practice for Alabama, and I tried to see if Nick made any statements about it, and I haven't seen anything yet, but I didn't check right before we came on air.
One of my friends who's close to the program in Tuscaloosa, he works in the local media. He said he wasn't present in practices at all. So obviously he's
I would imagine he's
suspended, until further investigation.
Outcome,
exactly.
Yeah. But
I would suspect, he's probably going to be
kicked off
the team for this. He's not even stepped foot on the practice field,
right.
So
now he did participate a little bit in fourth quarter, which fourth quarter is their training, where they do a lot of working out and running without the coaching staff.
He was a borderline 5-star too. I don't think he collected his 5th star.
He was a consensus, but he was considered in the top 15,
right?
And he was considered in the top 10 of defensive recruits.
Yeah.
So we
were pretty high on the recruitment for sure.
Yeah, he was excited. He was part of the number 1 class.
Right.
You hate it for the young man. Hopefully.
Well,
he can learn from his mistakes, but
we've said before, we haven't walked a mile in any of these kids' shoes,
right.
So can't sit here and judge him for the decisions he's made. All you can do is, hope and pray that the truth comes out, and maybe, but still yet, see your friends, see your future.
Right.
And so, I think this is sort of an indicator of future results.
He probably had a clear 3 to 4 year path to the NFL. Now who knows?
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen to him now?
Might be some jail time,
could be, which would set him back athletically, and
with the amount of marijuana they found.
Yep.
He's liable to have to serve some time. So
the intent to distribute was pretty clear based on what I've read.
Well, and they showed pictures of what they seized.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a pretty healthy amount of marijuana.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah, and a lot of money, and like I said, a set of scales. you don't have a set of scales unless you're weighing it and dividing it up.
Well, maybe they were headed to the farmer's market, and they wanted
They
to be honest.
They didn't want to get cheated on their
That's
tomatoes.
right. They wanted to make sure they were getting the proper weight of tomatoes, man.
Yeah.
Cucumbers.
Okay. Yeah, you stick with that story. See where that gets you.
Hey, that's how we get some of these Bama boys out of trouble. Come up with creative solutions and explanations.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Yeah. So.
Tony Mitchell. Damn. We were kind of counting on you to maybe be a contributor.
Yep.
Coming in early spring. I mean, he was there. He actually enrolled in December, didn't he?
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's been working out with the team, and
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunate. It's, these young kids need to make better decisions.
That's right. Yeah, well, they do.
Somebody was saying, I think it was, is it Kenny Smith that's doing the tournament? I think it's. Yeah. He's been on with Charles in the studio. I think he was the one that said, you got 7 seconds to make a right or wrong decision that can affect the rest of your life. And, these young men need to start using that time more wisely. Speaking of,
true.
Let's move off of the scumbags, but and come in hot. And speaking of a young man who's made pretty poor decisions, Mr. Jalen Carter with Georgia. His stock is plummeting. He went from potentially being the number 1 overall draft pick to he pled no contest to the charges that he got on the racing in regards to the Georgia staffer getting killed and one of his ex-teammates, an O-lineman, getting killed.
Which we've all done. We've all raced our vehicles, especially in high school, and early in life. We've all done something like that.
But he's lucky, though, because, I did a quick search on Google, and in a lot of states, they are now charging and convicting people if in this exact same situation where they were racing and the other driver or a passenger in the other car dies, you get charged with the murder. North Carolina's convicted some, Alabama's convicted some, California, New York, Michigan, Oklahoma, Minnesota, Florida,
Nevada.
Yeah, one of the kids in Florida, he got 24 years.
Man, Florida's no joke, though.
Yeah. So
no, I mean, I think he's incredibly lucky to have gotten what he got.
Well, and then I was reading today that there was actually marks across the top of his Jeep that were looked like they were probably the power lines when the other car hit the power pole and it fell. They said that the marks were consistent with that, which kind of puts him beside the other car at the time of the wreck. And that they thought about charging him with more than they actually did. So yeah, he's really lucky. And what I don't get is, this guy directly was involved with 2 deaths, and you don't hear nothing about it.
Nothing.
Crickets. Brandon Miller is completely innocent of any wrongdoing, and he's getting crucified. He has to go. He has to show up with armed security now,
right?
Because he's receiving death threats.
Well, that's gun related versus vehicle. Yeah. So I can see that, but at the same time, Henry Ruggs. Mm-hmm. Henry Ruggs is in prison or facing prison time.
No, he's in prison, but his case keeps getting pushed back.
I mean, essentially.
But you were saying Florida don't play.
Yeah.
Nevada and Vegas don't play. I mean, he's probably screwed.
Yeah, he's toast.
Not screwed. He
did what he did.
Yeah, so, exactly. He's going to get
the
consequences.
He had a moment of poor timing and poor decision making. He wasn't doing anything more than a lot of us have done in the past, I mean, you and I have driven to Memphis in our cars. You remember? I don't know if you remember this, but we were late for a softball game in Memphis, and we drove 120 or so miles an hour down Interstate 55 from Arkansas to Memphis to make it on time.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't call us out in front of the world, but
No,
honestly,
I know where you're going. I mean,
and we were in our early mid-20s.
Yeah, and all these, the younger you are, usually the dumber you are.
Sure.
And that's the thing, all these people that are making all these judgments about everything, like you said, they've been guilty of probably similar also, and but the fact that you don't hear anything about the Carter issue and all the negative false narratives surrounding the Brandon Miller thing, that shows you the power of the media.
Yeah, I'm still trying to understand why the focus on Bama basketball. I mean, we are like, everyone's rooting against Alabama except for Bama.
Bama people, yeah.
Everyone's wanting Alabama beat, and I'm trying to understand where that has come from.
The media?
Well, I know the media, but does that come because Nick Saban has whooped everyone's ass?
That's part of it too.
For a decade and a half.
Yeah, and now they don't
tired of Alabama.
Yeah, there is definitely some Alabama fatigue. It started with the football, and now that the basketball team's on the come up, everybody's like, oh God, no,
another sport.
We don't want to see this again.
Our baseball team's undefeated right now.
Now, actually, they got
did
beat.
They lose?
They lost to who's number 2? Florida.
Oh well, they were 9-0.
Yeah, they hung with them, but
I got you.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, the fatigue is real, but part of and I think that's part of the reason the media focuses on anything they can point at negatively is because of that Bama fatigue. But they don't realize this man and his family are now getting death threats because they put false information out there.
Sure.
And, luckily it does seem to be quieting it down some now that more information is getting out there about, the boyfriend probably fired first. The boyfriend is the one who crept up on him with his headlights out, did a U-turn and came back and circled back around.
He initiated, more than likely, he initiated the whole...
They easily could have just driven home.
Sure.
But the boyfriend was the one that went looking for the trouble. Anyway, I didn't want to talk about the Brandon Miller situation.
You can definitely see the roller skating going on with some of the analysts that have, they have completely, you and I were listening for it.
Right.
And it has really died out. A week ago, it was the first thing mentioned about Alabama.
Yeah,
was
this
Brandon
week.
Miller
this week.
His legal issues, and now it's dying out. So,
although Nance did say, we still got to be responsible for making poor decisions. There again, he was picking his friend up who he told he was already going to come pick up. But yeah, it has died down, so I'm thankful for that. But getting back to Carter, so he pled no contest. He got, I think, like $1,000 fine, maybe 800 hours or 80 hours of community service and a 1-year probation.
So that's what $1,000 fine for manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he didn't get convicted of manslaughter.
Right. But
how
he pled no contest, so he didn't even have to plead. He didn't even consider guilty of anything.
No, he wasn't.
So, yeah, he definitely came out,
squeaky clean, really, considering what it could have been.
Right. But then he had his Georgia Pro Day and was 9 pounds heavier at the Pro Day than he was at the Combine a week or so earlier. And was only going to do position drills, and then couldn't even finish the position drills because he was so out of shape and cramping. And so you want to talk about red flags,
right?
But somebody's still probably going to take him in the top 10, top 15.
Absolutely. But it was funny though you say the word red flag because there was some articles posted about him before the Combine about his potential red flags.
Yeah, I think it was.
And those were, Georgia went on an all-out assault.
Yeah, I think it was Schefter It was one of the NFL insiders said he had character concerns.
Yeah.
And everybody went crazy.
Right.
And now everybody's skating backwards.
Egg on their face now because the truth, the truth comes out.
Yeah, because he's got a history of reckless driving, type of speeding, and so he needs to. And, he is young, but he still. You got your whole career ahead of you. And
Brandon Miller's young.
Yep.
Henry Ruggs was young. Young. So, there's consequences, and I hope he does. I sincerely hope he does well with his second chance, because that's truly what he's gotten. Because I'm sure there's a couple of families out there that aren't too thrilled with maybe some of the legal decisions.
Well, I wonder, as more, he could still be civilly sued.
Sure.
And I wouldn't surprise me if he does get civilly sued, especially after he signs that mega contract.
Yeah, absolutely. Might have been the reason for his 9 pounds. He's stressing out because he knows he's not out of the woods.
Right.
Anyway.
All right, well, let's get back on. Did you have anything in the NFL while we're talking NFL that you wanted to?
Not really. I was just going to mention, that the Panthers signed Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought that's a pretty. I think they're close to going for DJ Chark too.
Yeah,
I think they're close to
need
bringing
to get Bryce
him in.
some weapons.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting.
Although it did come out, Federer said that no quarterback is going to be. How did they word it? Anyway, he said size is not going to factor into the decision.
Yeah. That's I saw another article today that Tepper, the owner, he likes Richardson, which a week ago Tepper was all about Bryce.
Right, yeah.
So it's just a
I
bunch
think,
of
I think they're trying to get a team behind them to want to trade up.
Yeah.
I think really what they want is Houston. That way they only have to move down one spot
and could get some
and still get one of the top 2 QBs.
Yeah, well, funny you mentioned Houston. I mean, the Texans have made some good moves. I mean, they signed Tunsil.
Yeah, I saw they extended him and made him the highest paid.
Schultz and Singletary. I mean, those are some decent additions. I mean, they're not going to certainly move them into the NFC. I mean, the championship game, but clearly, I mean, they're making some moves. And then I also heard that the Vikings might be clearing up some room to make some run at Lamar.
Well, they need something because they're still stinging from that ass whooping the Giants gave them.
Nah, they moved on from that. Chump change.
Yeah, you knew I had to take that stab.
Kirk Cousins in his final year. So I just heard that. That was an interesting convo. But
I heard the Patriots mentioned with Lamar, but I don't listen to a lot of that.
Nah, it's hard to really.
I see on your notes there the Jets and Hard Knocks. That's already been announced?
Or? No. I'm glad you peeked at my notes. I was just going to mention, that they still haven't finalized any Aaron Rodgers stuff. They're kind of at a stalemate on contract negotiation, but the Hard Knocks is going to be last year, I think the last few years, they kind of announced who they're going with prior to the draft. And so there was thought that maybe it was going to be the Panthers. But then
they got a new coach.
They got a new coach, so it
exempt.
Can't be the Panthers. So it's potentially, I think it might be the Jets.
Of course, Reich's already done it once with the Colts.
Yeah, and the Jets have already done it, haven't they? I feel like the Jets were early in Hard Knocks. I didn't research that, but anyway, I do think it's going to be the Jets. Obviously, if they
Rodgers
haven't been, and if Aaron Rodgers signs, because the Jets are on the come up. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, that really puts them on the come up. So I could see Hard Knocks going to New York.
I can't remember if the Jets were on there or not. Can't remember.
Anyway, that's really about all I have in the NFL.
All right, let's roll back back to March Madness then.
All right, fire away.
Because I did a little numbers game here, and so the first 2 rounds, there was 12 upsets. And, of course, no perfect brackets left out there. Surprisingly, there still was after the first couple of rounds, but then after the second round, the first round, and then after the second round, it was shot at that point. No perfect ones left out there. And like I mentioned earlier, of what should have been in the Sweet 16, 7 of them are already gone. You got 2 number 1 seeds eliminated.
Yeah.
Purdue and Kansas. Houston and Alabama, the only ones that made it. 2 number 2s, Arizona and Marquette.
Yep.
Only 1 number 3 lost, and that was Baylor. And then 2 number 4s, Virginia and Indiana.
I'm surprised at Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised at Baylor.
And then the interesting thing about that is the South region lost a 2, a 3, and a 4. So, that puts the winner. That puts the winner of the Alabama San Diego State. That's the 1 versus 5.
Right.
As the top remaining team.
Definitely the top remaining team, and you would
in
think
the South.
You would think their road is paved, but those other 2 teams are there for a reason.
You still got Creighton.
Yeah.
Creeping around over there.
Yep.
So a lot of people, the computers, the gamblers, Houston and Alabama, of course. They're the 2 number 1 seeds that are left, and they really were the 2 best teams all year long.
Right. Right. That's the only. I have them in my final.
Yeah.
So my bracket's still somewhat alive, and I took Michigan State to get this deep.
You told me that this weekend.
So that helped, but yeah, I read article on CBS Sports today about they reseeded the 16. Mm-hmm. So and then of course Bama would be 1, Houston would be a 1, UCLA and UConn would all be 1s. Mm-hmm. And that's followed up by Texas, Gonzaga, Creighton, and KSU. Mm-hmm. So, I found that to be kind of interesting after the reseeding. You didn't do a bracket, did you?
No, I didn't do it.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you what you might choose to do differently if you had a chance to do it all
like
over
I said, I used to fill them out, and I always did terrible, and I just quit filling them out.
I've had a lot of success at doing the bracket challenge, but not this year. Not this year. Not success nationally. I don't think I've ever finished very high nationally. Just doing like local bracket challenges with friends and work challenges. But let's talk. Do you have some more stats or something? Anything?
No, go ahead.
Talk about the Bama San Diego State game.
Yeah.
What you got?
I got Bama.
I got Bama too. What you got? I got Bama.
No, I did a little research on. Funny. I was kind of looking at their community and trying to see what their fans were saying and this and that. And one fan had posted, "I see one clear advantage we have over Alabama, the bench. Alabama's young and not very deep."
What?
I'm like, dude,
you don't watch basketball.
Yeah, you don't know anything other than San Diego State apparently, because
I thought you were gonna make a joke.
No, I was like,
oh my God.
I almost logged in just to call this guy out.
I don't think there's a deeper bench in all of basketball.
Alabama's a legit 11 deep.
Legit. Easy. And just look at our first game.
Yeah, Pringle led us in scoring, and he didn't even play the first half of the second game.
And Pringle scored, 6 in the second game?
Yeah.
Brandon Miller scored 0.
In the first game, and we put up 96.
Exactly.
So
we're like the opposite of bench.
We're a legit 11 deep.
We can seriously. We could go a 5-man substitution and not miss a beat offensively or defensively.
He's done it all.
And their only real threat is their guard.
Parrish, I think his name. Michael Parrish.
Matt Bradley. You should know that.
I thought there was another.
Well, Matt Bradley is their only double-digit scorer.
Oh, okay.
And he's a physical guard. Right. So, but you know what? Where's our depth? Our experience, our age. It's in our guards.
Yeah.
We're young everywhere else.
Well, we actually are kind of a good blend everywhere.
Right.
You know, in the backcourt you got a young Bradley and a young Rylan Griffin, but then you got experience with Quinterly, Sears, Dom Welch. Am I leaving anybody out? And then
those three.
Then up front you got the young with Clowney and Brandon Miller and Bediako, but then you got the experience with Pringle, Gurley. Who am I leaving? I'm missing somebody. But anyway, so we've got a good blend of youth and experience. You know, because we've got, you know, Sears is a grad transfer. Gurley's a grad transfer. Dom Welch is a grad transfer. Then you got Quinterly's a senior.
Yeah, Quinn's senior.
Pringle, he was JUCO and then came over. So, I mean, it's a good blend of youth and experience. Good leadership. You know, Quinterly and Gurley are real good leaders. Brandon Miller, to me, when you watch the games, he's a leader.
Beyond his age. You know, he is definitely not a freshman in play and how he approaches the game for sure.
But so I went looking because I knew absolutely nothing about San Diego State. So, you know, I wanted to know, you know, what kind of length did they have, you know, who their scorers are, you know, that kind of stuff. And you know, about what I read was they're great on the defensive end.
Yeah.
You know, they play real physical. They like to slow the game down.
Yep. That's what all of the experts talk about is their defense. But on the other side of the court, you got another awesome defense.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, people overlook that.
No, our defense is elite.
Oh yeah,
elite, and our length makes our defensive elite.
And our rebounding is elite.
And Bediako anchoring down the middle. I mean, I just don't see it. But you know, it's crazy. It's March Madness. You know, I didn't see a 15 over a 2 and a 16 over a 1.
Yeah. At this point, obviously, Alabama and Houston are the two best teams left in the tournament. Does that mean they're going to be playing for the championship? There's no guarantees.
No guarantees.
There's no promises.
Sure. Nope. Your dogs, man.
The dogs are going crazy upstairs at something. Nuts. All right. What else you want to talk about? Rick Pitino looks like he's going to be the St. John's next head coach.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Rick Pitino. It'd be nice to see the Johnnies good again.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when St. John's was an elite team.
Yeah, them in Georgetown.
In the 80s.
Yeah, them in Georgetown were legit.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else really about. I did hear a funny story. This is not college basketball related. This is back to professional basketball. You were talking about Kenny Smith. Well, I was listening to Barkley and them talk about basketball the other day, and Charles Barkley. You know how Charles Barkley he says some of the craziest shit, but he was talking about his rookie year in the NBA. They sometimes had to wash their jerseys. Did you hear that? They had to wash their jerseys in their own bathrooms in their hotel rooms.
Yeah.
In the NBA,
yeah.
I don't see how that's true.
But did you know the rest of that story? He would wear it in the shower.
Right. Yeah, no, I thought you had the follow-up to it.
No. You left out the best part.
I was getting to it. I was going to say, and then this fool wears his jersey into the shower to clean it up. But I'm thinking the whole time, like, I know he played a long time ago. Yeah. But he's our age.
Well,
but
he was in the NBA when I was at Bama. Right. We didn't have to wash our own shit.
Are you telling me that in the NBA?
Hell no.
Come on,
no,
man.
Not. Maybe in the 60s, but not in the 80s.
But Kenny Smith was laughing his ass off and wasn't really going to let him finish the story because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
funny. While we're talking about funny stories, I found something interesting that I read today. Your boy Ken Griffey Jr. is going to be the 4th highest paid player for the Cincinnati Reds this year.
See, I love Ken Griffey Jr.
I didn't even know he was still playing.
That's how great Ken Griffey is. He's still getting paid.
Yeah, so now he took deferrals. And he's got deferrals that run to 2024. So the Cincinnati Reds are paying him $3.6 million, actually $3.59.
Nice.
which puts him fourth on the payroll behind Votto making $25 million, Mike Moustakas making $22 million, and he's not on the team either. So they're paying $25.59 million for two guys that ain't gonna get a single base hit out of.
And how can you and I not have a general manager's job?
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous. And Bobby Bonilla, what about Bobby Bonilla?
Yeah, I think he's the
Mets
payroll is so ridiculous now.
He gets $1 million a year, but he's still getting paid by the Mets, and he's been retired.
Yeah, these dudes that decided to take these deferrals, man, they definitely picked the right option.
That was wise. It was wise to take that deferral because you're making money while you're still young and able to make money. You defer money till you're not. That's pretty good. See, I love Ken Griffey Jr.
All right. You got anything else you want to talk about? Or you want to go drink some Paragon?
Let's go drink some bourbon, man.
All right, let's do it.
This has been good, though.
Yeah.
It's been good.
You know, like I said, I don't think it's killing our taste buds, so we should be able to. No excuses over there at the bar when we line it up. And we're not gonna rate that shit. We're just
that's right. We're not rating.
No, we're gonna do a blind taste test.
We're gonna blind test that shit.
That's right, and see if we still, we both said we like the Ballin and Bond the best, so we'll find out.
Now we got to see put up or shut up if we can pick it out of a lineup.
That's right.
Cool.
So we'll see y'all at the bar.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers.